What is up, everybody? Welcome to Rev Time. Today we're going to talk about a couple of guitars. One being this Gibson R9 and the other being a guitar that I've brought up before in another video, my personal PRS McCarty 58 guitar. I just wanted to compare them actually and not really pit one against the other as much as just talk about the differences between them and how they feel and how they're built, the pickups that are in them, and maybe go into the history a little bit of specifically this guitar. Now this is a Gibson R9. It does not belong to me. It belongs to Derek Asfeld, who is the CEO of Revv Amps. He purchased this from someone out here in Nashville and had me go pick it up. And just with everything that's going on, you know, we don't necessarily want to ship it over to Canada. And of course, he can't quite get over here either. So poor me. It's kind of been hanging out with me. Now, yes, it is Gibson R9, but it has been heavily tweaked in a really great way. The previous owner had some work done on it after he bought it. So it started life as an R9. Without all of this beautiful kind of checking and relicking on the guitar. He had someone who previously worked at the Gibson Custom Shop basically do some magic to this. So I don't think he did anything to the top, because I know there's certain guys that'll actually make the dish on the top of the guitar even more authentic. In other words, they'll strip the whole thing and they'll actually reshape the top to make it more like a true 59. But in this case, the finish was just reliced and checked beautifully. The relicking that's on there is actually really, it's really nice. It's a little bit more than maybe I would have done, but all this check work is just absolutely stunning on this guitar. So it was refinished, not refinished, but the finish was worked on. What was refinished was the back of the neck. And as you can see, there's a stinger on this thing too. But he did have this gentleman from the custom shop reshape the back of this neck to be much closer to an actual 59 that was in the shop at the time. And I must say, this neck feels absolutely incredible. The shape on it is just beautiful. So the neck obviously had to be refinished. I'm assuming there had to be some work done on the binding on the neck, but it looks great. Now this stinger on the back is more typical on a vintage guitar. If you find a vintage Stinger guitar, there was an era when Gibson was putting what was called a stinger on the back of the headstocks of Gibson guitars that were actually considered factory seconds or blem guitars. And of course now they're highly sought after if you can find a Stinger Paul or anything along those lines. So he had a stinger put on the back of the headstock, and then of course the serial number had to be re-stamped by hand. And I'll leave that up to you guys. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I probably would have passed on the stinger because it's not that big a deal to me, but it does look cool. So that's kind of what's going on with the guitar. Before we listen to it, the pickups in it are Gibson stock pickups, but they are tweaked. They're not potted. They do sound really great. They're not super high output. Now this guitar came, and because this isn't my guitar, I'm not going to change anything. It came with the strings wrapped up over the top of the tailpiece. That's to each his own. I have mixed feelings about it. For the most part, I'm not into it because I don't like the break angle it creates. But this guitar it sounds killer as is, so I'm not going to mess with any of that. And as I said, it's not my personal guitar anyways, so I'm not going to do anything to it as I do not own it. Now, Gibson scale is 24 3/4. So we'll listen to this The scale on my guitar, my McCarty 58, is actually 25. And then of course a Strat scale would be 25.5. So there's definite differences in feel and tone when it comes to scale length. And we can kind of check that out, but let's start with the R9. Sorry, I've been just yammering, but I just wanted to talk about this thing so you knew a little bit more about it. I am playing into my D20. I'm running it direct using the 4x12 cab that's stock on the amplifier. If I do turn on some overdrive, it'll be with the G2, so we can hear the pickups with a little bit of dirt on them. So let's just start with the let's start clean with the neck position, and we'll just kind of go from there. Here's the middle. And here is the bridge. Now I gotta admit, I really like the way these pickups sound. We're just breaking up the amp a little bit, but yeah, there's kind of a woodiness there. They sound like older pickups to me. They sound like older magnets would sound. And they have just that right amount of compression. Now we can turn on a little bit of dirt real quick. I'll dial the G2 pedal to this guitar, and then I won't touch it for that guitar so we can hear the difference. Okay, cool. Let's switch over to the PRS. Oh, right away, the PRS is considerably lighter, but for obvious reasons, it's thinner. It's not nearly as thick as the Les Paul would be, even though it's still an arch maple top, or I should say carved maple top, and mahogany back, just like the Les Paul. Now this one is a longer scale The Les Paul is 24 3/4. This is 25-inch scale. But yeah, let's just see how it sounds. I'll start kind of the same way, neck position, clean. Now this neck definitely feels different. Both necks actually feel really, really comfortable. This neck feels like it's maybe a little flatter towards the headstock, and doesn't get as big towards the heel as the Gibson neck, but both of these necks feel really good. Boy, these pickups sound great too. But these are lower output pickups. These are the 5708s, I believe. Yeah, which are my favorite of just the more traditional style humbuckers. Of course, in like a Dave Grissom guitar, that's a completely different ball game. But when it comes to more of like a Gibson style pickup, I really like these pickups. I could raise them up and they'd be a little brighter, but they just feel really good where they're at. This guitar does have a little bit more tension than the Gibson. Both are strung with 10 to 46 strings. The Gibson does intonate a little bit better than this one because this one has the kind of set bridge on it. And it does intonate really well as a wraparound bridge. It is compensated, but it still isn't going to be like spot on perfect like you would, you know, with a bridge you can totally compensate with the saddles. But yeah, both these guitars sound really good. This one is a little more comfortable to sit with just because it's at least for me, because it's a little bit lighter, and because of the way it's cut, it doesn't feel as compact to me. Sometimes when you sit with a Les Paul, it can feel like, you know, things need to get moved around somehow. But that's to each his own. That's just the difference between the two guitars as far as I'm concerned, just sitting with them. But boy, they both sound beautiful, and they both, you know, look absolutely beautiful. Let's turn on the G2. I will not touch anything. We'll go back position. These pickups don't seem to be quite as hot. Yeah, these aren't as hot, at least the way they hit this pedal. They feel good, sound good. So just really quick, I'm going to throw back the Les Paul without touching anything settings-wise. And I know this video is getting long. Sorry, guys. Okay, back position. Hopefully I didn't just knock it out of tune, bouncing the headstock off the desk. Sorry, Derek. That wasn't the bridge. I think if I were to raise the pickups in that guitar up just a little bit, I'd get a little more output and a little bit more top end. Let me switch back really quick. Okay, last switcheroo, bridge pickup. Yeah. Not as hot, but you know what? It sounds great too. I mean, I think all I'd have to do is just raise it up if I really wanted it to be closer to that. I mean, I'm not going to because I like this guitar the way it is, but yeah, they both sound great. So thank you for indulging me and checking this video out. Please let me know what you heard, and obviously if you can listen on, you know, quality monitors or in-ears. It's going to be a little harder to, you know, decipher what's going on a laptop. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys thought about the differences between the two guitars. And as always, I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you next time.